Leverage the power of extraordinary with Sterling's Power Business Banking Checking. Offering tiered relationship rewards, it's part of a suite of solutions delivered by your own experienced relationship manager that can help you manage cash flow and improve operating efficiencies so you can focus on strengthening your business. See for yourself. Call 855-550-0041 or visit snb.com/offers today. Sterling National Bank. Expect extraordinary. Member FDIC. Equal Opportunity Lender.
You're making grilled cheese tonight. The store with the really, really good cheese closes at 7. If it's 12.1 miles away and work ends at 5:45 but rush hour picks up around 6:15, when's the latest you can leave for cheese? Don't know? Not to worry. Waze knows. Take a look at the traffic forecast and plan your drive ahead of time. Waze. Download and drive today.
What's going on? What's going on? You are tuning in to the Cigars with Mac podcast. And today, I have a special guest who inspired this topic that we're going to discuss today. Title is going to be The Killmonger Theory. Now, this was inspired by a debate me and my good friend here had at work about Killmonger versus T'Challa on Black Panther. And with everything going on with the riots, and again, as I've been saying on a couple of podcasts, rest in peace to George Floyd. His death was untimely, and it could have been so easily avoided. But again, I don't want to harp too much on that today because George Floyd is in a better place. Anyway, this topic was inspired by my good friend here. We're gonna really dig deep into this, the Killmonger theory, and I think everyone is gonna enjoy it. And it may be controversial, but it is what it is. So my good friend here, name is D, and man, let's just dig right into it, man. Normally I try to go over news and all that, but this topic is so good, man. I don't want people waiting, man. I'm ready. I want us to dig into this, man. So let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and like I said, he and I had somewhat of a fruitful conversation about T'Challa and Killmonger and off Black Panther, but also we can equivocate that to today. We can equivocate this topic to today. So D, I want you to let's talk about it, man. Go ahead and go ahead, hit your perspective on it. I'm gonna bounce off you, man. Go right ahead and let the people hear your voice, bro.
Okay. I think it's widely known that the reason why Black Panther was really, I guess, celebrating itself was really because of Killmonger. I feel like a lot of blacks in America can identify with that same pain, that same anger, that same mentality that we have. for example, I mean, how can I put this? Like I said, okay, one, he represented obviously the Black Americans to me.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for him in that movie, to me that movie wouldn't be as good.
True.
Because you had a relatable villain, just like how the Joker movie and stuff like that, it's relatable. So, I don't know if you realize this, like a lot of times in a movie, when Killmonger was talking to T'Challa, he was like, well, what about, the black stuff, outside of Wakanda?
Correct.
He was like, T'Challa was like, those are not my people. And people, I guess a lot of people don't realize that's the same sentiment that a lot of these Africans have overseas, and hell, even blacks in the UK, and all these other countries outside of America. They don't feel like they identify with us. If they did, they make fun of us. So, for example, like the lady that played Harriet Tubman in that movie, she's not from America. And she was making hella jokes about black women, about black people. But he's going to come to America to play a powerful, trailblazing woman like Harriet Tubman.
Correct. It was really an insult.
Say it again.
I really feel like it was somewhat of an insult.
It is an insult because what they do is they come from other countries and blend in with us to play roles like, social commentary roles. And then when it's time to speak on black issues outside of their roles, they don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Just like that Daniel guy from Get Out. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. He was the lead in Get Out. And he was like, I'm tired of speaking about race. And I'm like, well, black people try to live it.
That's right.
So, why would you go into movies like Queen and Slim, these type of movies, black movies, but then you don't want to talk about race. You don't want to talk about what black people go through. Because from what I heard, he's supposed to be playing Fred Hampton. So again, you playing these figures, but you don't want to identify with them. And that goes back into T'Challa because what he did was he gave the black community a one center. I don't know if you remember at the end of the movie. This is the center. This is what Killmonger grew up. I'm gonna give him a center. But he gave the world access to his resources.
That's right.
You feel me? That's what they do, and it's funny because a lot of black Americans will go to Africa to help give certain areas electricity, food, water, give them cleaner water and stuff like that. But when they're good, I don't see them coming to America to help black communities out.
That's correct.
And so that's the thing. That's why, again, for me, Killmonger is my favorite person of all time in the movie as far as movie villains. But, of course, there's certain things that I didn't agree with Killmonger. Like, for example, trying to destroy all of the Black Panther power plant thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously if he had an offspring, I'm pretty sure he would want to leave that legacy to him type thing.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't disagree. That to me, I saw somebody that was hungry. I saw somebody that was driven to meet his goal. But yeah, T'Challa was just, to me, one of those people, if you're not a part of my tribe or anything else, or you're not part of my tribe or you're not white, I'm not helping you.
Yeah.
Case in point, he helped that white agent out, make sure he got well and stuff like that. Which I feel like in that movie, they have to have a white antagonist and a white, another white, a white villain and a white hero, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that, because remember the guy with that one arm?
Yeah.
He was the white villain.
He's white villain, yeah.
So they have to balance it out. But I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of other movies, they don't do that.
Nah.
There's one black villain, there is no black good guy type thing. For example, the Harriet Tubman movie, they went so far to make up a black villain in that movie. It was a black male. I was just like, wow. But in the Black Panther, they try to play it safe.
They played it safe, yeah.
They didn't want to have just a white villain because, that's what I would get on my nerves. It goes to that, not all police officers are bad, but again, don't let them say nothing when you got a needle back in your neck.
That's right.
I saw this one clip, to not to go too much on the subject, I saw this one clip. He was an older man. He was a protester. Mm-hmm. Police officer shoved him to the ground. I think like two officers attempted to try to help him out. Mm-hmm. The other officer nah, y'all better keep walking, and they kept walking. So again, that whole narrative, there are good policemen. I'm not gonna say there's not, but when it comes to when the defense of us, I don't really see it.
Nah.
But yeah, but going back to the Killmonger theory, a lot of people actually like him more than they like Black Panther. I was actually surprised. But there was another group that loved T'Challa more than Killmonger, which I didn't understand how.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Let me jump in there. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I like T'Challa. Right. I did because he's the good guy, and if you look at the movie, it was portraying Killmonger as the angry Black American and T'Challa as the intelligent Native African from Wakanda. Mm-hmm. But the more and more I looked at it, and I'm not gonna lie, my son loved Killmonger. I'm like, why do you love Killmonger, son? And we would laugh about it. But as I continue to watch the movie, I'm telling you, man, it's a good movie, I'm not gonna lie. I started to see the disparities and the differences because I said, hold on now. This man, Killmonger, represents Black America. And the director of that movie did a superb job of representing that. And I think he intentionally did that. Trust me, that wasn't by accident. And thank God that he was given the freedom to direct the movie the way he did it, because pretty much Black Panther saved Marvel. They saved them. That movie was over $1 billion movie, and the majority of the people who saw it were Black Americans. And as usual, we bailed another corporation out. Of course, nobody will admit that. And the thing about it, man, that really got to me was after this, with the George Floyd murdering. That murder was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it really lit a fire under Black America's ass. And so I looked at the movie again, and I said, literally, bro, a light bulb went off my head and said, now I feel Killmonger. Because don't get me wrong, I know it's fictitious, but the majority of Black Americans were riding with Killmonger, man. I'm telling you, you're not making that up. So, and I kept watching it, and I said, and after Brother George Floyd got killed, something in me just struck like, you know what? Now I get it. Not that I haven't gotten it, but
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But and me and you have joked about it and had little debates, and at the end of the day, I feel Killmonger's pain, because the way the way I'm gonna strategize, the way I'm gonna internalize the Killmonger theory from my perspective is, the Killmonger theory is basically the Black American man, or we're gonna say Black America, that stood up and was really about Black America. Because if you've noticed in society, you have all these, Black and brown coalitions, and whenever Black people are whenever we're trying to get what we're trying to get politically and economically, and we're trying to get the world to see what we're dealing with, or we're trying to get government set-asides that are rightfully due to us, which is, as we all know, reparations. We always have to share that with everybody. But other races don't have to do that. And again, I'm not on this podcast. We're not racist, so don't get it fucked up. but we're
It's
realists.
just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, we're realists. We're honest. We're not the thing. Like I always say, I know what I'm seeing. You're not gonna tell me what I'm seeing. You're not gonna tell me that what I'm seeing is not what I'm seeing. Yes, motherfucker. You killed the man. You choked him out with a martial arts move. I know what I saw. He didn't die of a heart attack. There were 2 separate autopsies, and the family's autopsy made more sense to how this young man died. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
And
People were telling that they tried to cover it up.
that's right. And going back to what we're saying, the Killmonger theory, it seems like, you know, and at first a lot of negative constituents were saying that a lot of black people feel like we have now is our time. We finally, you know, we got a villain. We're supporting the bad guy, but really, Killmonger wasn't the bad guy.
No.
He wasn't a bad guy at all. Actually, he was just getting what was rightfully his. He was rightfully owed a chance to the throne, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
And don't get me wrong, you know, the way he got by was the way he got it was fair and square. And even though he tried to burn the flower, at the end of the day, you know, we as American blacks, we don't have the same. We have a competitive mentality. So that's our mentality is snip the competition. Once we on top, it only makes sense to get rid of the competition or get rid of the flower. You know, that's just common sense. You know, at the end of the day, business is not fair. You know, and something that we discussed a lot on this podcast is business. And like I said before, you know, Killmonger, I felt I finally got it. It took 2 years, but I finally see. And you know, like I said before, man, I'm really got a lot of more respect for Killmonger because I understand his pain, and this ties into something that I discuss a lot is American blacks versus continental Africans, no matter what country they're from.
Yeah.
And I love to talk about, man, you know, on your, you know, I'm gonna give my perspective, but I love the people to hear your perspective on American blacks versus Native Africans. Talk about that.
Okay. Just to a simple, you know, like I said, how can I put it? They only care about their culture. They don't care about the black struggle. They don't care about what black people go through. So, and this is, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I haven't seen it on TV, I haven't seen it in the media, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But have you seen any of these African countries protest?
No, I've yet to see it. I haven't. Maybe I'm missing it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because, you know, that's what I'm saying, like, stuff like that. But then when they go through issues, black Americans feel sympathy for them and try to help them out.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's where this connection is at. Because to me, personally, this is what I feel. More likely, this may get some type of backlash, but I feel like their culture appropriators too of the black culture.
Oh yeah.
Because nobody in Africa was rapping, you know, stuff like that. You know, but they will come over here, make a name for themselves, and then try to distance themselves from the black struggle. When it's time to be real, that's why it's the difference between Muhammad Ali and a Daniel Cloutier, whatever that dude's name is. And it's more telling because it's like, wow, you want to benefit from our culture, but you don't want to put nothing back in.
That's 100% correct, man.
And that's what they do. I'm not saying black Americans don't do the same thing, so we have those coons that's out there. Yeah. But since we're speaking about the Killmonger theory, that's what people like me or black Americans that's real get mad at people like that. Like the Daniel Cloutier, the lady that played Harriet Tubman, and many more. They always want to say, I'm Afro-Latina or I'm African. I'm not black, I'm African. You know, It's that I'm not black, I'm OJ theory. You know, that's what they have. They feel like they gonna fight for Latino races, whatever other races, wherever country they came from, they're gonna fight for that. They're not gonna fight for us. They're not gonna use their voice for us. Even that Amira Negra, that lady, she cooned her ass. All she wanted was, she like, I'm an Afro-Latina. That's all she wanted to rap. She didn't want to rap nothing else. And she got to get her nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because I love seeing when they do all that, and their career don't go nowhere.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I always cheer.
I'm gonna tell you something.
You get all of that. You get.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so you get all that. Oh, I'm not black. I'm separating myself from them, and you still didn't get a payday that you thought you were gonna get for doing something like that.
I'm gonna tell you something I found comical about her. I was watching one of her lives. Her name is Amara Le Negro. I know you talking about.
Yeah.
And she's spewing all this Spanish, and again, nothing wrong with that. But she identifies more with the quote unquote Latina side of her.
Yeah.
And I'm not, again, I understand culture and all that. I get all that. But at the end of the day, young lady, you have African roots like the majority of American blacks do.
Yeah.
It's just your ancestors were dropped off, and I believe she's from the DR, I believe. Or Cuba, one. Your ancestors were dropped off in a Spanish-speaking country. I'm not gonna even say Latin America. I'm gonna say a Spanish-speaking country. That's where your ancestors were dropped off at. And this goes back to, I'm still. I one thing about me, man. You know me, when I can ramble, but I'm good at bringing it back home. It still falls back to this Killmonger theory, because for some reason, American blacks, we are more Pan-African than those from the continent of Africa.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Oh, I've noticed it. Like, I know there's a lot of Africans, even though I went to college with. Yeah, they had their little group ASA, but they only repped it when they was in a group. But when you see them like individually, they chucking and jiving for a lot of white people. And they look at black people that was, that's in my college, like, oh, we better than you. I've seen it a lot. I've seen them become a laughing stock with these white fraternities. That I was even cool with. I've seen it a lot because I'm like, wow, there's definitely a difference, because the way how they treated me, how I reacted, interacted with them, it was more on a respectful level, at least to my face it was. But with him, like with the African guy, he kept making a fool out of himself on purpose just to make them laugh and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, you're their monkey. you're their amusement. You're not an individual to them.
Nah.
And so, but then he'll look at me like I'm the one that's selling out. And it's such a big disconnect, because I've seen that with African men, how they would treat black women, black American women. They'll treat them like they ain't nothing, but then you would get with a white woman and then she's your queen. And I'm not saying again, I'm not saying black American don't do that here, because that's a whole other type of discussion. But we're just speaking about what I've noticed with the people like T'Challa, because it's so crazy. I'll bring it back too. You mentioned him with Killmonger. T'Challa's like, we can save you and stuff like that. He gonna wait till last minute to say that. 1, 2, we can save you. And he was like, nah, we're supposed to be a prisoner for the rest of my life? Who buried me in the ocean with my ancestors died? That shows you right there, he no longer identified with Wakanda no more. He 100% identified with the black, like just black Americans. For him to say that, he was like, you know what, y'all lost. And it's so funny because when he actually warned T'Challa about opening up his resources to everybody, because he's like, you realize that they're gonna. His concept was, you realize they're gonna come in and destroy Wakanda, right? Like they did these other African countries that were prominent too back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we can fast forward to the Avengers Endgame. What happened? They brought their war to Wakanda, and you saw that Wakanda got messed up.
Big time.
So it's the same principle, and it shows that we're so inviting to other people, but not black people.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's the sadness of it. Because like I said, African American people, and I'm gonna say black. A lot of us not really want to say African Americans and Africans anyway.
No.
But can I say they look at us too? They look at us as half breeds.
That's why I was using the term American black.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because you know we are the blacks of America. You know we should. Unfortunately, I know a lot of black people don't want to agree with this, but I hope this podcast will reach people so you understand. First of all, nothing wrong with us identifying with our black skin. Great. But we should also take advantage and understand that we are Americans. Because I've seen a YouTube video of a native African who lives in America now, and he said, y'all crazy. Y'all need to identify with America. Y'all shouldn't even be calling yourselves African American because none of y'all are African.
Exactly. Never been to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
He said
and that's why I had to change my language too. Because you get so programmed to say African American instead of just saying black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So I've always felt that way to a degree, but as I get older, me being a war veteran, which I serve with many brothers and sisters. Some of us have a problem with identifying with our nationality, which is American, the nation that we're America, which is the nation we're from, USA. So as I get older, I learned to appreciate that because, we are descendants of slaves, but you got to understand also every black was not a slave.
Exactly.
But nobody wants to talk about that.
It was black shit that was wealthy that never even had to go through slavery.
They never even,
they even own slaves. They probably have an indentured service or something like that, but still.
That's right.
Not every black person that was in America slave, like the narrative that they always try to portray.
Yeah.
That's far from the truth. There were indigenous people that you couldn't even tell were they black or Native American. They were here before that, before a lot of Europeans came over.
That's right.
So, the narrative that, some of us may be descendants from slaves, but some of us may not be, and that's what a lot of people, that's when it comes to actually studying and seeing that there were other blacks that were from different tribes that not even from Africa that, or may have migrated from Africa, if you want to say that was already in these places. That's why we have black Chinese people. I don't know what they call them, but they be looking like Nelson Mandela, the skin tone, the eyes, and everything. But they're in these Chinese areas, and it's so funny that and to go not to go on a tangent, but even with Gandhi, a lot of black people praise Gandhi. I know a lot of Indians praise Gandhi too, and the Indians that I see praise Gandhi are darker skin. And this is what shows me that people don't really do research on the person that they praise. Because Gandhi didn't give a damn about dark-skinned people at all. Whether he was dark-skinned Indian, black, or whatever. He cared about the fair-skinned Indian.
Yeah.
And that's what I always thought that was funny. And there's some more messed up facts about him, but that's one of the ones that always stood out to me. Because I think they put a statue of him in front of the Martin Luther King Center out here in America. I forgot what to say. I want to say Georgia. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I know it's in one of these southern states.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because he didn't care about dark skinned people or black people. Darker Indians were suffering just like the light ones were under the British rule.
That's right.
So, but he didn't care about that. And now, to even bring that more into more context, that's what we're seeing now. A lot of people don't care about black people, just like T'Challa, but they don't mind taking from them. So, for example, we have that lady that that was criticizing black people for rioting recently. I can't think of her name right now. We had talked about her before. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because they always get those type of people to criticize the people that think like Killmonger.
Oh, you talking about Candace Owens?
Yeah, her.
Yeah, Candace Owens is not a native black descendant. Her parents are from the I want to say Caribbean. I don't really know, but
that proves my point.
That's a disparity that I've noticed amongst American blacks versus those of African, either native African or other African countries of African descent. You know, because she pretty much goes on within Black America, negative or positive, she's gonna be against it. That's just the way it is.
And it's so funny because have you noticed that they get these people that's not really Black Americans, they put them in a position of some type of power? Mm-hmm. Because, for example, we can even talk about Obama. Like, his dad is what, South African, something like that?
Kenyan.
And his mom is white. Yeah, Kenyan. Okay, yeah. And his mom is white.
That's right.
He only identified with black culture when it was convenient for him, like to get the votes and stuff like that. But outside of that, that was it.
I can remember.
That's what
I can remember 8 years ago when I was heavy into the political arena. And Candace may have been in high school then, but she's not the first black conservative. Black conservatism can go back to MLK. In fact, blacks were historically Republican anyway.
Yeah.
But she's being how should I put it? She's being posted up as a somewhat of a black conservative spokesperson, when really that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But she pretty much I don't know who's behind her as far as who gives her talking points, but when she did the video on George Floyd, it was apparent that she did not do all that. I mean, I can tell you right now, someone in law enforcement had to give her that, because the information she was exposing was too detailed, and only someone who had privilege to look at those type of records could tell you that. And they probably paid her a hefty sum, to do that, and that's fine. I get it, I understand that. But at the end of the day, what was the purpose of doing that?
That's a good question.
What was her purpose behind that? And the problem between a lot of black quote-unquote Democrats and black quote-unquote Republicans is that most black conservatives / Republicans don't speak out about black issues. They just don't. They act like it does not exist. They act like racism is not real. They act like asking for reparations is asking for handouts. When other
and what's wrong with asking for a handout? I didn't mean to cut you off. I've heard that argument a lot, that y'all just want a handout, but America was founded on handouts. It wasn't like everybody just worked hard. That's why they got slaves to do it. But when everybody can ask for reparations except black people, that's what always get me, because the Jewish people got their reparations. I want to say the Japanese people from World War II in an internment camp got their reparations. But when it comes to black people, we're giving you education. It may not be, it's definitely not the best. But we're going to give you education. That should do. We can go ahead and do, affirmative action.
Yeah.
Black people always get the lesser stuff, but we steady fighting for everybody else. And that's why, personally, again, I'm going right back to that Killmonger thing. I fight for my people. You know, I'm more vocal about my people. I don't give a damn about nobody else. I'll be the first one to say that. I'm more vocal about black women. I'm more vocal about black men.
That's right.
You are not about to catch me out here about to bash black men in total as a whole. Because, of course, you got your bad fruits in any race or any culture or whatever you want to say. You got your bad apples in either one.
That's right.
But as a whole, I'm not about to be like, oh man, you know, black men ain't this, black men ain't that. I'm not gonna say black women ain't this and black women ain't that. But all I know is that people like
Leverage the power of extraordinary with Sterling's Power Business Banking Checking. Offering tiered relationship rewards, it's part of a suite of solutions delivered by your own experienced relationship manager that can help you manage cash flow and improve operating efficiencies so you can focus on strengthening your business. See for yourself. Call 855-550-0041 or visit snb.com/offers today. Sterling National Bank. Expect extraordinary. Member FDIC. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Skiing, riding, sledding, winter biking, winter hiking.
No matter how you Vermont, please Vermont safely.
Cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowman building.
This year, that means a 7-day home quarantine with a negative COVID-19 test or a 14-day home quarantine with no symptoms to visit.
Snowball fighting, ice skating, ice climbing, ice fishing, ice cream eating.
So we can all Vermont safely this year.
Dining, craft beering.
Talk to your favorite inner resort about smart travel suggestions, reservation policies, and the best way to Vermont this winter.
Hot cocoaing, antiquing, shopping, fireside napping.
For full COVID-19 travel guidance, visit vermontvacation.com.
showers, I ain't saying up for them. I'm not going to defend them. Because at the end of the day, they like to claim whatever continent they from. Let your continent stand up for you. I stand up for Black Americans. That's where I'm at with it, and I ain't trying to hear, for example, just because T'Challa is the representation to me of all lives matter. And Killmonger is the representation of Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
Because T'Challa made sure he fought to make sure that he and that Black men receive the resources that Killmonger, because it was towards the end of the movie. Remember when the ships was going out to be dispersed to all the Black people in different countries and stuff? Mm-hmm. To help liberate them from being oppressed. Yeah. T'Challa made sure he fought for that not to happen. But then you're gonna open up your resources to the same government that enslaved people that may have came from your area, from Africa or whatever. That's backwards. I would have had more respect for T'Challa if he didn't want to share his resources with nobody and he stuck back. I know at first he was hesitant to doing that.
That's right.
But then he went ahead, I guess Killmonger changed his mind, but to a certain extent. He was like, you know what, not just Black people, everybody. Fix the Black culture first before you start worrying about. And unfortunately, we have a lot of T'Challa's, that same mindset, the T'Challa theory, in the Black culture too. Because a lot of them fight for other races. Like, for example, this whole COVID-19, when people were saying racist stuff against a lot of Asians. And a lot of Black people was like, that's wrong, y'all shouldn't do that. But how many Asians spoke out about this whole George Floyd?
I haven't seen any.
I never seen Asian people as a whole. I'm not counting those 1, 2 that only like, for example, only you heard about. I'm talking about as a whole. I want to see a social media movement like they have a movement for everything else, fighting against racism.
That's right.
Because it's funny because a lot of these immigrants will come from their country to here and automatically think they're better than Black people.
That's right.
And that's always funny because you see these Mexicans doing the same thing. they don't mind killing you as a black person at all. But then black people were there fighting for them, fighting against Donald Trump about this whole wall situation.
That's correct.
But in Chicago, they out here, they pulled out a pregnant woman and stabbed her.
Wow.
Pulled out her car. A black pregnant woman. That's what I said. I fight for my own. I don't fight for everybody else's struggles. I don't care about their struggles.
No.
You know, if I'm gonna be vocal about it, it's gonna be about black people, not Asians, not Mexicans, not white. They got their own community can fight for them.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, that's what I am. But you didn't see Muhammad Ali doing that. You didn't see Malcolm X doing that.
No.
Like, oh yeah, let's fight for this.
No.
Especially Muhammad Ali. He was definitely pro-black. That's a man. That's a man's man right there. That's a black man.
That's right.
You know, because he was unapologetically black. And you know, we work together. We seen the blacks that's there that kiss ass.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that do all they can to screw people like me and you over, just to be bumped up, just to be given a promotion.
That's right.
And the sad part about it, I was given a chance to, as far as advance my career, by somebody that was not black. That's the funny part about it, because the people that were in the position that were black, they were hesitant to give me that promotion. Because they didn't want to look like they were helping out another black person.
That's right.
I mean, you know, me and you, we keep the game out, and we see that everywhere. We gotta work twice as hard than anybody else.
That's right. I think we lost the connection. Everybody, he'll be calling right back. Give him a few. Yeah. This is good. This is good. I'm loving this. This is good. This is good. I like this. This is good. Let's take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, you good, man. I got us on a break.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
You good. Hold on. Let me turn it back. Let me turn our background music down. Okay, guys, we're back. Continue, my friend.
Sorry about that. But yeah, but that's what I've always noticed, that we always have to work twice as hard and 10 times harder just to get still less than a lot of white people or a lot of people that the black coons that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because even the black coons don't even get promoted to the way how they want to be promoted.
No, sir.
And it's always funny. They can get that one little trick of like, okay, here, you can go ahead and be promoted to, for example, manager, but we would never make you senior manager. We would never make you director. We never do all that. That's a no-no. And if it does happen, it's so rare. And the person been in for like 30 years. You know, because we don't see people like as young as us that's directors there.
No, you don't.
But we see people as young as us that's not black get promoted fast.
Oh yeah. And I'm
They
gonna
get there for a whole year, they get promoted.
I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen since the killing of our brother, and I'm gonna keep saying killing/murder of our brother George Floyd. I don't know if you peep a lot of the professional sites, the top one being LinkedIn, but a lot of companies are basically making it known that they hear they hear us, they see, and I have a feeling that there are going to be more blacks in leadership positions just because they want to show that they're not racist.
Yeah, that's a good PR move.
That's a good PR move. And I'm telling you, my whole thing is, why did it have to take this? Because I'm seeing
that particular killing at that. Because it's not like he was the first one.
That's correct. And I'm seeing a lot of black HR professionals even they're standing up and they're speaking out about this, and I'm glad that they're doing that, because it takes guts to do that, because sometimes we feel that we have to be somewhat careful between our professional and our personal life, and nowadays we live in a society where pretty much you can get fired because of that, you know, and thank God there have been a few white people who have expressed their racist ideologies publicly, and they've gotten fired. So justice is there, and like I said before, we're not racist at all, but we're just putting it out. We're just being real, and that's something else that this murder has brought out. A lot of those real conversations are being had because they have to be had.
Yeah, that's true.
They have to be had.
You see what people said that with that. Like I told you, I've seen more people that were very, very vocal about, and I'm talking about like non-blacks, that's like my friends with, the people I know, they're very, very vocal about the LGBTQ, about Chinese people getting racially discriminated because of COVID-19, but they've been very quiet lately about this whole George Floyd thing, about the racism that goes against blacks, and it shows me a lot. I'm like, okay, that's what you are. That's what you align yourself with.
That's right.
And it's, like I said, it's so funny because these are the same people that be so dirty to say the N-word.
Oh man.
You know, they want to be quiet on black issues, but they want to say the N-word just to be cool.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. And I'm not saying if you fight for us, you can say the N-word. All I'm saying is, at least show that, you know, show some type of balance, man. Like,
that's correct.
But yeah, but that's what gets me about a lot of people, and it's so funny because I've seen a lot of people. I look at different forums and stuff, and I'm part of a lot of groups on Facebook, and I've seen people that it's groups that don't even talk about race, but you know, since it's been such a heavy topic, you know, every group is talking about it, and so I've seen a lot of whites, even some blacks, that's talking about some, well, you know, all lives matter. People are funny when it comes to that, because when we talk about people, for example, that got killed because they were gay, it'd be rude for somebody to say, well, straight people get killed all the time.
That's correct.
You know, all straight people lives matter, not just LGBTQ. You know, stuff like that.
That's right. And with Black Lives Matter, we understand all lives. We get all lives matter, but at this moment in time, we're not saying all lives don't matter. But black lives are getting killed at an astronomical rate, and
everybody feel like it's okay.
Yeah, and everybody.
Well, you know, it's like everybody's okay. At least the justice system.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with people saying Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives do matter. We're not negating that, but we're saying at this moment in time, we need to highlight that, hey, our lives matter too.
Yeah.
That's all Black Lives Matter is. And, you know, we all know the history behind how Black Lives Matter was started. We get all that. But nevertheless, we're not saying that nobody else's life matters. But at this moment in time, black lives are being taken away from families. And again, we're not supporting criminals. We're not supporting criminals. We're not supporting wrongdoing. But what we are saying is that this man did not deserve to get murdered.
No, he wasn't resisting. Even if he was resisting, I've seen a lot of, I've been watching those top 20 police wild stories and all that. I've seen people with guns and police officers are hesitant to even shoot at them or tase them. The only time a lot of times they get shot is when they raise up their gun to try to shoot one of the police officers.
Yeah.
But before that point, everybody's saying, oh, come on, Jeffrey, put the gun down. Put the gun down. Everything could be okay.
Yeah.
But with a black person, it's shoot first, ask questions later.
That's right.
Like whether or not the person, he can say, man, screw you. That don't warrant death.
No, it doesn't.
You know, because I mean, especially when you had a person that walked into a black church and shot them and killed 9 people, and y'all take on a Burger King with a bulletproof vest on.
And you know what I find comical? The very people that are saying all lives matter. If George Floyd had been your everyday K9, that cop would have been in jail immediately. He would have already been tried for first-degree murder for killing a fucking dog.
Exactly. They care about the animals more than they care about anything else.
Oh yeah.
Like there are dogs, cats, and then there's black people. You know, after there's black people, we under the doggone the damn turtles and rabbits. You know,
it feels like that.
That's why we say Black Lives Matter, because apparently people forget. You know, and that's the thing. Like, that's what always, because people always try to bring up that, well, blacks kill each other. Okay, well, whites kill each other too.
That's right.
And also, if a black person kills somebody and that black person get caught, or either caught for killing another black person, then I think he's going to jail for life.
That's right.
You know, it's never no, oh well, he was rightfully, he had the right to go ahead and do it.
That's right.
He thought he had a weapon, so he shot him.
That's right.
Because that's what our black people are asking too. Like, hold them to the same standards that y'all will hold us.
That's really what everybody wants. Make this thing fair and balanced. Make it fair and balanced. It feels like that's too much to ask. That's too much to ask, yeah. Yeah, man. It just feels like, you know, it feels like that when it comes to black people, it requires further investigation.
All the time. All the time.
I mean, this is really...
It never fails.
Yeah, this is really starting to kind of get on my damn nerves, because it's like, hey, we need to research this a little bit more. No, there's no research needed. The video was shown.
It's clear.
It was clear. It was clear. It was clear.
It's like me robbing a bank. It's like me robbing a bank and I'm on camera with my face out. And it's clearly me with the gun. It's clearly me probably pistol whipping somebody. And they like, oh, we need to go ahead and further research this. Because it may not be him.
Wow.
People will lose their mind. Especially if I killed a white person.
That's right.
Yeah, lose their mind. You talking about this riot. Man, please.
That's right.
And like I said, I think it's that mentality that a lot of non-black vegans, like I said, some of the coons, we should just be grateful to be a part of this country. We should be grateful that we have a job. We should be grateful for all that. A job that we deserve, by the way. But we should be grateful. And I'm proud of this generation. Because like our parent generation, they wasn't really about that life.
No.
Because there's a lot more entrepreneurs as black in this era than there have been prior. And a lot of black Americans in this era is like, man, look, I'm trying to get it myself. Yeah, some of them are not successful, but that's what happened when you started from scratch. Not like we had a blueprint.
That's right.
And that's what I applaud. Like, not only they out here, you know, protesting, they working to get these laws changed.
That's right.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of like the civil rights era.
Man.
And the moment when we really started like boycotting like their like these big companies' money, like for example, when we quit buying Gucci, when we quit buying Louis Vuitton, when we quit even buying Nike products, and we demand like, if you stand for us, if we ain't supporting, I guarantee the whole landscape will change.
That's right.
That's the money. That's how the bus boycott worked. Yeah, it took a year and some change, but it worked because the transportation industry was losing money as far as the buses. Right. Because everybody was like, we'll walk. Because they knew that I ain't about to sacrifice my dignity to sit in the back of a bus when I'm paying the same amount of money as a white person.
That's right.
And once you get to that point, it's over.
Man, I even spoke on my previous podcast about during that era, the civil rights era, believe it or not, every black person was not for Dr. King.
Oh no, yeah, that's a myth.
That's a
think,
myth.
People a lot. Yeah, he had majority of blacks.
Oh, that's a big myth. And don't get me wrong, in the words of Dr. John Henry Clark, he said integration would have taken care of itself, and it would have. But it's sometimes in America, sometimes you gotta bring things to the forefront. You really do. And some people have their opinions about Dr. King, but I understand what he was doing.
I understand what he was doing. He that's what he thought was needed.
That's what he thought was
give
needed.
black people a chance. I get it. I'm never going to fault him because in everything we grow. Me and you don't have the same ideology that we had 10 years ago, hell, a year ago. You're supposed to evolve because even with the whole integration thing, later on he regretted it because he realized the era of what he was fighting for.
Yeah.
That's why he said, I fear I led my people into a burning house.
Mm.
And that's a well-documented quote from him before he died.
That's right.
But, people like that's, I think that's what probably frustrated about people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and people that were on the Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali side. Malcolm X, I'm sorry. Lost my train of thought. The people that was on the Malcolm X followers, that was his followers, they were thinking the same thing. It was like, okay, screw integration, just give us our own, and we would be gone. And the crazy part about it, black people always had their own, but white people came in and bombed them. The Tulsa riot. That's what that was for.
That's right.
It was a Black Wall Street. Because again, that's why I hate the narrative that black people are lazy. All they want is our handouts. You sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure it was a riot because we were so wealthy.
That's right.
We had our own. We was bad and selling within each other. People can't stand when black people do that, but they let all the other races do it.
That's right.
I don't know if you noticed that.
I have noticed that.
Because we always say, Asians stick together. Don't nobody bat a half of that one. Mexicans stick together. Don't nobody bat a half of that. But when black people stick together, that's the problem. We gotta shut that down. And that's what I've always noticed. And it's sad because it's funny because we giving less in this country and expect to live the American dream.
That's right. That's right.
Because when I left my parents' house, I had $0 to my name. I didn't have, hey, you know what? You made it to the age of 18. You have to go on your own. Here you go. All the wealth that I established from $0.
That's right.
I've been broke before, and I made money. I had to learn how to navigate by myself when it came to that. It wasn't no blueprint, but a black family that's actually showing the positive light, people try to find skeleton. But a white, Asian, or these other type of families that's shown, they don't try to find skeletons like that. That's the funny part.
Oh yeah. Like I said,
a lot of people's origins were from crooks. That's the other thing too. And not to go on a tangent, but it's amazing how, like, for example, black people are labeled as gangbangers and stuff like that. But what do y'all call Italian people? Italian Americans?
that's right.
Because they invented the drive-by. That wasn't made by black people. They were doing that in the Prohibition era.
That's right.
But what do you, they don't get stigmatized like that.
No.
But we do. We do. That's the sad part. Well, I'm sorry, what you going to say? I think I cut you off.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. I'm really enjoying this dialogue, man, because it's necessary. And like I said before, man, it all goes back to the topic of the show, which is the Killmonger Theory, because he represents Black America.
Yeah.
And he represents the black American that was tired of being neglected. He took things into his own hands and he succeeded. No matter how he succeeded, he succeeded.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing right now. It's not that passive approach. It's that Killmonger approach that you see people having.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, what does looting have to do anything? This country was found on looting as far as protests. I mean, the Boston Tea Party is a perfect example of looting.
That's right.
But that's patriotic. That's patriotic when it's them. But when it's black people doing it, they're animals. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I mean, I'm happier. It's making me happy that more and more blacks, especially in our era, are really just like, no, we tired of this.
Oh yeah, like I said,
like not only we got to go against COVID-19 and not really getting the job that we have degrees for. Now we got to still deal with racist white and racist cops. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough, man. It's only so much a person can take, and eventually you explode. And like I said before, at the end of the day, I understand why the young people are protesting. I understand why they're looting. I understand it. Yep. Just because I don't necessarily agree with everything doesn't mean I don't understand. I get it. And this COVID-19 really dealt them a shitty hand, man. I mean, like he said before, they didn't get to graduate like they wanted to.
No.
Those with degrees in certain fields, especially the STEM fields, they're not telling you, but a lot of these people are not getting the jobs they desired, if they're even getting good jobs.
Exactly.
People are getting laid off, furloughed.
Yep.
I mean, people are angry, man. And, at the end of the day, this is people lashing out.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like a lot of times in America, we try to mask the truth. We try to hide like we are this perfect nation, but we're not.
No, not at all. And that's the sad. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people are quick to get offended, but they don't want to find solutions. Mm-hmm. And that's the part. That's what we get as a nation. And it's so funny because, like I said, I mean, we both agree that black people have been getting killed by racist white for a long time. It's so bad that they just now trying to outlaw lynching.
Wow. Ever
since the George Floyd, I forgot which state. It was definitely opposite southern state. But they trying to outlaw lynching. Why is that still an issue in 2020? That's what I feel like. This era is actually pushing things along more than my parents' generation. Because my parents are like about to hit their 50s now. Mm-hmm. So I call them like the 70s babies, 80s kids or whatever, or 80s teens. They didn't really put that much into their kids like that. I'm talking about as a whole. I ain't talking about that one family. I'm talking about as a whole, from what I've seen. It was only more about, I'm going to take you to church, and we hope that you make something of yourself. Mm-hmm. Because, I think we both can agree, a lot of our people in our era, we taught ourselves homework. We went over home by ourselves. We looked for no help from our parents.
No, a lot of us created what we have from scratch.
Yeah, that's why a lot of us are rejecting a lot of things like, for example, religion and all this other stuff, like a lot of our parents' ideology. Because we've done everything ourselves, why do I need to listen to this one aspect of you? Because it's not working for you. Because a lot of our parents still ask us for money. But they quick to tell us what to do. They don't talk about that. A lot of our parents still broke. They was broke when we were kids, they broke now.
Man.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen other people that parents keep asking them for money and stuff like that. But when it comes to like, hey, mom, dad, I need you to stand with me with something. For example, this whole showing this, let's protest together. No, I can't do that. I don't got time for that. And, you know, like I said, a lot of. I personally feel that like my parents' generation never grew up.
Old ass kids.
You know. Yeah, they old ass kids. They had kids when they were kids. You know, like 17, 18, 19, 20. I couldn't imagine having a kid that young. And a lot of them never grew.
Nah, man, that's the sad part, man. And believe it or not, man, you just gave me an idea for another show topic, and that is religion a necessity in 2020?
No. it's not.
Nah, man, it's not. It's not, man. It's not doing us any good.
No, it's not. I mean, what do you do for black? And you know what? We'll give you a lot. I'm gonna talk about this black people. We know when it comes to this religion, well, some blacks. I'm not gonna say all blacks, but some blacks. They go through one little thing, like, oh man, I had a cold, and be like, that's how I know God is real, because God healed me from a cold. After they don't took like something like Theraflu or something like that. People go to like one isolated incident and talk about something. Yeah, there's nothing that can shake my faith. I'm like, you need to have more faith in yourself than what a pastor is telling you. Religion haven't done nothing for black people to give them hope. You can keep your hope, but you can give me wealth. Like, I don't care nothing about no hope. Because you can hope all day long, and nothing happens.
Unfortunately, hope can't pay my bills.
No. Not at all. I can hope I get the job, but what happens when you don't get the job?
Right.
No, religion has been a stronghold. That's why black people be, oh, well, I forgive them. And again, I'm not saying all blacks. I'm saying, you know, some of those blacks that we have in our community.
That's right.
They be like, oh, I forgive. We're the most forgiving people for other races, but not for ourselves.
And that's what Killmonger was saying.
Yeah. And that's why I respected Killmonger. Honestly, it's to the point when I watched that movie, the Black Panther movie. To me, the movie ended when he threw T'Challa over that waterfall. He the king. All right, cool, good. I ain't gotta watch the rest. Because I don't know if it was you. I don't know if it was just me. But it's like I cringed when they went before that king and he started that little monkey noise. That made me cringe personally. I was just like, why put that in there? Cause I mean they already claim that we monkeys, and we gon'.
It was stereotypical.
Yeah, it was very stereotypical. And I think that was to make white people more comfortable. I don't know what that was really for. But yeah, man. Like I said, I mean, Killmonger is my favorite villain of all time until another don't like him come across, which I doubt. And to me, he wasn't a villain.
Nah, he wasn't no villain at all, man. He wasn't at all. Well, my man, I'm gonna end this podcast, man, and I'm glad that you came on, and I definitely enjoyed the dialogue, man, and I definitely think that people understand what we mean when we say the Killmonger Theory.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And anyway, man, I enjoyed it. It was a pleasure. Man, I enjoyed it, man, and like I said, we're gonna come back for our next show, which will be titled "Is Religion Useful in 2020?" And man, hey, you just continue to, rip, bro. I ain't got no problem with that, man. Give it raw and uncut, brother. Hey, man, I'm gonna let you go, my friend, and you have a good one.
You too, and thank you. It was an honor.
All right, brother.
All right.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Looking for your next great hire? CareerBuilder is the fastest growing job site in the U.S. with over 140 million candidate profiles and growing. Plus, candidates on CareerBuilder have skills for the most in-demand occupations. Let us help you rebuild and rehire a strong, more diverse workforce fast. CareerBuilder, we're building for you. Visit hiring.careerbuilder.com/recruit.